Hi guys, welcome to another new tutorial. Today we are going to make something like this using Blender and FlipFluids add-on. We are going to use a free animated character from Mixamo.com. Mixamo.com is a website from Adobe and it provides us with free characters which we can animate and use in our games or animations. So let's get started and browse some characters. We can see that there are a lot of characters provided here. All of these are 3D characters. For my animation, I am just going to use the default character provided on the screen, and then I can go to the animations tab and I can see a lot of different animation presets. I would like to search for dance category, and in dance I would like to search for arms hip hop dance. So if I want to apply this on my character, I will just double click. And here you can see that this animation is 659 frames long. And it's something I want for my animation, so it will work perfectly for my fluid simulation. Now I want to download this file, and it will be downloaded as FBX file. So let's download. It will be a FBX binary file. I want it with skin, and I will just let it to be 30 frames per second, and I'm not going to reduce any keyframes. Download. So it's been downloaded here. You can see arms hip hop dance.fbx. Let's open Blender and import the downloaded FBX file by going to File, Import, and FBX. And this is the file downloaded from Mixamo.com, arms hip hop dance.fbx. Import it. And now you can see you have your animated character. I can play the timeline and I can see it's working perfectly. If we analyze this character in the outliner, you can see it's called armature, and there are two main parts of this character which we need for animation. So one is called beta joints, which is this part, and then we have beta surface, which is this part. So we can join these two body parts together. I will select joints and shift click surface, and I can press Ctrl J to join them together as one body part. And now you can see we only have one part, and we can check if it's still working properly. Yes, it's working properly. Let me rename this as body, and I'm going to select this, all the animated character, and I want to scale it up 10 times bigger than its original size. So I will press S on the keyboard, and I will press 10. So now this character is 10 times bigger than its original size. Now I will add a cube, and I will also scale it up to 10 times by pressing S and 10 on the keyboard. I will press 1 on the numerical keypad to see the front view, and I will move this cube by using move tool. So it's going to cover the whole character from all the sides, just like this. Because all the fluid is going to be created inside this cube, let's apply FlipFluid system to the required objects. So I will select the cube and I will go to physics properties. I will apply FlipFluid, and in type I will select domain. So this is the domain, and inside this domain all the fluid is going to be created. I don't want to see this armature, this one, so I'm going to hide it in the outliner. Hide, and hide for rendering. I don't need to render it. So going back to FlipFluid, I will select the body and I will apply FlipFluid, and I will make it an obstacle because the fluid is going to be created and hold inside this body. It will act as an obstacle, and I will activate this inverse. And one important setting is this one, export animated mesh. If you don't activate this setting, your fluid is not going to be moving with the dancing object. So this is very important. I am going to duplicate this body by pressing Shift D and click. So now you can see I have body and body 0.001. I will rename the first one as body dash container or the obstacle because it's going to contain the fluid, and I will rename the duplicated copy as body dash fluid. I will change the FlipFluid type for the duplicated copy of body, which is called body dash fluid, from obstacle to fluid. So this first body is the obstacle, and this second body duplicated copy is going to act as fluid. Let's again check our animation. Both body parts are moving together, so that's perfect. For the body dash fluid, also activate this same setting, export animated mesh. And now we are going to select the cube to change some settings for FlipFluid domain. Here it's showing that it's unsaved file. If you want to save this file, you can save it now, and that's a good practice. But this is an experimental file for me just for this tutorial, so I'm not saving it. I will change the resolution to 100, and I will go to FlipFluid white water and I will enable white water simulation. This will create different particles like foam, bubbles, spray. I also want another particle which is the dust, so I will also activate it. I will minimize it. I will go to FlipFluid display settings, and here I will enable stable rendering, and I will go to white water display settings, and I will activate this one, foam, bubble, spray, dust, and foam, bubble, spray, dust. Later on we can increase or decrease the size of particles from here. I will just change it to around 0.002 for all of them. From my previous experience, I know that this will work for my simulation perfectly. According to your simulation or according to your files, you may need a bigger or a smaller size. Let's bake. I'm going to do a test baking to see if my fluid is generated or not. So I will press bake. Before baking, it's exporting animated data. And now you can see it's baking. Let me bake around 30 frames. And here you can see it's generating the fluid surface and bubble particles, dust particles, foam particles, and spray particles. I will stop the baking at frame 30, and I will move the playhead on the timeline to see if my fluid has been generated, and I can see the fluid is generated along with some particles. So these are the particles and this is the fluid surface. Now let's talk about render settings, how to render this scene. For rendering, first of all you can go to render properties, and your render engine should be cycles. This is very important. In render area, you can keep the maximum sample something from 16 to 128 or 256. It's really up to you. And activate this one, denoise. In light paths, you can go to integrator presets and you can select full global illumination. And for motion blur, you can activate motion blur. Then you can go to world properties, and surface should be background, and you can select black colors because we don't need any light from any source. Also go to the outliner and turn off your light for render and viewport because we don't need any lights. Next, go to add menu and add a plane and scale it up to around 300. Press S and 300, and this is going to act as floor for your scene. By pressing 1 on the numerical keypad, you can see the front view, and this plane should be touching the feet of the animated character. Now we can apply a simple white material to the plane. So I can go to material properties and I can apply new material while this plane is selected, new, and it's already white colored. I will just rename it to plane so we can know that this is plane material. I want to render the body container, so I will activate render in the outliner for body container, but for body fluid I don't want it to render, so this is not going to be rendered. I will select body dash container and I will apply a material here, a glass material. There are already 2 materials applied here provided with this animated character. We don't need these 2 materials, so I'm going to delete these 2 materials and I will apply a new material and I will change it to glass and I will call it body material and change the roughness to 0. Finally, we need 4 illuminating or emission materials for our 4 particles for bubble, dust, foam and spray. So let's create some materials. Make sure nothing is selected, so you can click here in this gray area or you can press AA to make sure nothing is selected, and then create a material. I will call it emission and I will change the surface to emission material. I just need 4 light emitting materials with different colors. You can select any colors. So I will select first one as yellow and I will then duplicate and make another copy of this material. So I will press this button, new material. So it has created again with the same yellow color. You can change it to another color. I need another duplicate copy, so I click this button and I change the color and I will create another 4th copy by creating the same button and I will change color to something like orange. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 emission materials. Now select the cube or domain, go to physics properties and in domain or FlipFluid settings go down to FlipFluid materials and for the fluid surface select FF water ocean volumetric. For foam you can select one of the emission material. I just select the yellow one. For bubble you can select the second one. Emission spray is already selected. And for dust I can select the red one. So 4 particles and 4 emission materials applied on them. Now let me do a test render, but before that we can see our camera is looking down here, but we need to adjust the camera. So a simple shortcut to convert the current view into camera view is by pressing Ctrl Alt and 0 on the numerical keypad all together. Ctrl Alt and 0. It will convert the current view into the camera, and now camera is looking at the same view as we are. Render frame number 30 because we have fluid till frame 30 because we baked it till frame 30. So go to render and render image. And we can see our lovely colorful particles. I'm just rendering it at 32 resolution. You can do like much higher, like 128 when you do your final renders, and you can render it as animation. And you can see we have successfully created a colorful dancing animated character. If you have any questions, you can post in the comments and I will definitely answer your questions. I will post this file on my Gumroad if you want to buy and support me. I will post the link under the video. And thanks for watching the tutorial. See you next time.